What's up, fellas?
Raw.
Welcome back to another episode of TSP, where we'll sit down with veterans and get their stories. I want to thank our, before we get started, give a shout out to our supporters. If you'd like to support us, the links are down below. Patreon, PayPal, however you want to throw us a buck or two. We'd appreciate it. With that money, we send veterans and first responders to sporting events. Football season's right around the corner, and we have 2 seats for every Detroit Lions game. We're super excited about
fun season.
Yes, this is gonna be this season. There's no better season to start this either.
Go Pats.
Shut the hell up.
Go Pats.
This guy,
man.
Yeah.
I've been a Pats fan
the grown-ups
since
are
84.
talking. The grown-ups are talking. Okay.
Oh shit, son. Damn, Brad. Damn.
So
I knew I'd get shit for that.
Let me see.
Haters, both of these guys.
I don't know. Pats. Jesus.
What do you mean? Hey, listen, man. I was a fan before they got, before they were like the
whatever.
GOAT. Okay.
That's what they all say.
No, serious? Never mind. You know what? I don't have to explain myself to you.
I thought you were a Savannah boy.
Hey,
Dude, I was Exeter, New Hampshire, and then Savannah. So Savannah Bananas, yes. Atlanta
speaking
Thrashers.
of the GOAT, he went to the University of Michigan. So back to the Lions.
Oh, okay. There we go. Always back to the Michigan thing. Okay. Good to go.
Yeah, he did go.
Good to go.
So before we introduce our guest, do you got anything? Chaps?
Me? Yes, we have one big thing this weekend. The official Smyrna Air Show, June 10th and 11th. Our post will be there selling ice cream, and we need a couple more volunteers. So if you want to volunteer, it's like 6 or 7 hours, sell ice cream, and you get to see the Blue Angels. It's kind of cool. Come on down, talk to me, talk to Kim Stavros, or talk to Aubrey Spain, our media guy.
What's the story
that's
with
about it.
What's the story with the Murfreesboro show? When is that?
That is in October. That is the STEAM event, and we are definitely signed up for that. You and me.
All right.
The post and the Scuttlebutt podcast will have tables there. I've already arranged it.
Right on. I'll be there. Excellent.
And for that show, they're trying to get one of our recipients here on this show, Lieutenant Commander Wiz Buckley, is probably going to be there with his jet and taking people up to fly. We just got to help him. We got to help him with the fuel cost to get up here.
Why do we need to help him, man? He's loaded.
Yeah, I know, but hey, listen, hey.
Just kidding.
I'm throwing them a bone myself just to get him up here. So, hopefully we'll get to ride. We'll get to ride in a really, really fast airplane.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
But without further ado, we have a guest. He's a good friend, Brad Stinson. How are you, Brad?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Semper Fi, brother. Semper Fi.
Yes, sir.
That's right. The best branch. The best.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, I can't argue that.
And Brad, we want to know who you are and what you're doing for the veteran community, what you're doing in life. Like, why are you a GOAT?
And why did you join the Marine Corps?
Well, first, why did I join the Marine Corps? This is actually kind of funny because I had no desire to join the military at all. In high school, I was a pretty good athlete. I have 8 varsity letters in 2 sports. So I played 9th grade varsity football and varsity baseball, which led me to a college scholarship. This is back in 2000. So when I blew out my arm, I needed Tommy John surgery. And back in the year 2000, Tommy John surgery isn't the Tommy John surgery it is today. It was a 2-year recovery, and we don't know if you're ever going to be able to throw again. So 18-year-old me, I knew everything at that time. You're not going to tell me. I graduated high school. I know everything there is to know about this world. 18-year-old me said, I have other things to do, like drink beer and chase ladies. Right. Which
that sounds like fun.
Which led me to just a whole bunch of stupid decisions. I mean, come on, you're 18 years old and now you have all this freedom of movement on the battlefield. You're going to get into trouble. And I sure as shit did. Trouble always found me. I was getting in fights and doing a lot of drugs that I never in a million years thought I would be doing. I ended up getting arrested for going the wrong way on a one-way street when I was drunk, just after we snorted some Adderall. Nice. And I went to turn left on the road, and lo and behold, there sits the popo. Pulls me over. I pass all the field sobriety tests because that's what us degenerates do in our free time is we just test each other on, can you pass a sobriety test? So walking backwards, heel to toe, touching my nose wasn't that big of a deal while counting by sevens backwards, from 100.
Damn.
All that.
Man, they do it fucking hard in Michigan.
Is stupid because if you blow, I blew and I blew a 0.28 on the road and a 0.29 in jail or something like. It was absurd amount.
Wow.
And you passed the field sobriety.
And I just snorted Adderall, of course. I had laser focus, right? But going into jail that night and having to explain my fake ID and the stress and anxiety of, oh my God, if they test my cards, are they going to find what kind of drugs they're going to find on my, like what the hell? Then I had this epiphany, 18-year-old Brad would be kicking the living shit out of 20-year-old Brad right now for these stupid life choices. Right. And that thought process is still prevalent today. In my travels and in my journey through life. Now, it's not 5 minutes ago, Brad really screwed me over. It's 5 minutes ago, Brad really had my six. He's looking out for me. It's the, however you want to look at it. It's the tactical thought process versus the strategic, it's the emotional versus, logic, all that, it all ties together. But I had that epiphany back then, and the war in Iraq started kicking off, and I'm like, dude, I'm a freaking pipe fitter. My hands are disgusting every night. My girlfriend doesn't want me to touch her because my hands are so gross and they're so rough. And, I wasn't playing baseball anymore. I just was going nowhere. And I went to the recruiter station and I was like, you know what? And I swear to God, this is my thought. Even before I went in there, I knew nothing about any branches. But I walked in and I met with a couple of them. I'm like, fuck, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and I'm going to join the varsity team.
Yep.
Right. That's all I know. That's all I know as a human is just the varsity team. So I joined the Marine Corps. It was one of those, oh, you tested high enough, so you don't have to be an 03. I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh God. Lucky. Lucky.
I ended up going into artillery, 08-11. So big gun go boom. I served from 04 to 08. My first 90 days in the fleet, they took my entire unit from 1st Battalion, 11th Marines out in Camp Pendleton. And they told us, don't even unpack your sea bags, boots. We are going to 29 Palms for the next 90 days. And we're like, what's 29 Palms? Well, for those of you who don't know what 29 Palms
is, I hate that place.
If there is a definition of the Marine Corps, it's 29 Palms. It's just a place for you to go and be miserable for it just screams misery, So we get stationed out there. We get stationed out there for 90 days, and what we're doing is we are doing the last firing testing of the new M777 howitzer that was about to hit the fleet. What hit the fleet just before that was the Osprey, and the Osprey was supposed to be able to carry lightweight artillery pieces, and the current piece that we had was like 18 tons. This new one was 9 tons, so half the weight, and it could shoot further distance. So we had to test the capabilities of it. So the very first things out of the tester's mouth were, all right, Marines, it's been through all the testing. I need you guys to break this weapon system. We're like, roger that, ma'am. Little did we know the hell that was coming our way, man. From 5 a.m. till 1:30 a.m. every fucking day. Sun up to sundown, max round fire missions, max charge. We're trying to find how far we can shoot this fucking thing accurately, right? It sucked balls being a big guy because I could handle picking up a 100-pound round and loading it into the fucking tube every single time. Dude, we shot over 4,000 artillery rounds downrange over the next 90 days. if you know anything about artillery, when you go to the field, you're lucky to shoot more than 10 for 2 weeks. And I shot over 4,000 in 90 days. Our saving grace, though, was because the BAE weapon system company is all civilians. They got to go to the rear and go to bed every night, and they had weekends off. So therefore, we couldn't shoot when they were there. So when they left, it was everybody's done rack ops, right? And then on the weekends, we actually had some liberty because, we're not Neanderthals. We will give you some time to yourself. And what is there to do on 29 pounds when you're an E3 or below? Absolutely fucking nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Get in trouble.
Yep.
That's about it. But fast forward through the Marine Corps. I mean, I did 2 deployments in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The first one was in 2005. I was part of the 13th M.E.U. I actually created a little safe haven for Andrew and his buddies. So I was just after Fallujah and just before Ramadi.
Yep.
So our job. Dude,
shit! Yeah, that's right.
Our job was to be on the border because we just swept through. Right, we pushed out all the insurgents. We were on the border, pushing them back in. And where did they settle? Motherfucking Ramadi, dude. Where you got some. All right, so that was
fun. Thanks for the hookup, dude.
Isn't it funny how it all works out? So
karma's a
we
bitch.
Did that one. We did that deployment, and that deployment was actually really fun. It's very, very weird for me to sit here and think back and go, my God, dude, I was in such a savage fucking mindset. I can't. As I'm sitting here in my stupid man cave in my basement, my freaking daughters are upstairs, and I'm like, I don't want to. I got to go watch Disney movies after this. But 14 years ago, I was a motherfucking savage, right? Because I had to be. We all had to be. The problem is trying to get out of it. So we came back from our first deployment, and we did the normal shit, and then we went back again in 2007. We flew over that time. But that deployment was supposed to be a deployment to Japan. So we were leaving in January 2007, coming back in September 2007. And I'm like, perfect, because I'm getting out in January 2008. Deuces. Like I'm out. 4 years, I'm done. I joined when I was 22 years old. Now I have a theory that stands true across all my platforms. Okay. Every single lifer that you come across, ask them when they joined. I can guarantee you it was 18 or 19 years old. Right? So if you think about this, and it makes total sense for the Marine Corps and my unit, especially when we had a change of our first sergeant, this dumbass who came in and took over our unit, which we were the best unit. Because, we went through all that shit with the 777. We went through a deployment. We were a solid unit. This dude comes in and breaks every rule known to mankind of leadership. Comes in and just says, my way or the highway. No observation, just my way or the highway. All right. He was so by the damn books. We had a freaking march to the chow hall. Marine Corps, that's like a very embarrassing punishment. Right.
Dude,
so
ram step march are just like march to the chow hall. What? Damn, it must have been a horrible first sergeant because I had a first sergeant like that too.
It gets better. It gets better. So every one of us in artillery, artillery is heavy equipment, right? Majority of us are, I would say, 90th percentile or above for height and weight standards in the Marine Corps. And I would say about 75% of us are over the height and weight standards. So this motherfucker comes in and puts all of us on BCP, the Body Composition Program.
What?
Yep. Yeah. Put all of us on it. I'm like, what? Dude, I was 6'2", 225. I was fucking solid, man. I was not fat by any means, but I'm fat against their standards. So that was going on. That deployment to Japan was supposed to happen. They send us on pre-deployment leave, and it's Christmas time, and it's a 30-day block, not a 28-day. It's a 30-day, and we're like, dude, this is sweet, man. So everybody goes in the hole because we know we're going on deployment, and you can. We come back, and they're like, oh, hey, gents, just kidding. We're not actually deploying to Japan anymore. We're like, what? We're getting augmented with 3-1 Kilo and Lima Marines, and we're flying over in July. So now this is July 07. Math for Marines, January 08, right? I'm like counting on my fingers. I'm like, okay, I count like 5 times. Ooh, I probably even had those sound effects. I'm not fucking going. I'm getting out in January. There's no way. There's no way they can make me go unless they stop loss me, and they're not doing that at this time. No. I was afforded the opportunity to re-enlist overseas. Dude, I'm not re-enlisting. I'm not re-enlisting, man. What the hell, right? So I had to deploy. And because I'm not re-enlisting, I'm stripped of all billets, all leadership. I'm just a piss. I'm just a shit sergeant, whatever. Okay. So I go over there. I'm like, I'm only doing 3.5, 4 months, and I'm out. Right. I get sent over as advanced party because I'm leaving early. So I leave in June. I leave in June. We go and take over a National Guard unit, right? Now, I got super excited when I found out it was National Guard. They've been there for 18 months. I'm like, dude, we're taking over an awesome duty station. I know they got it all decked out with cable. They probably got internet there. They might even have phones. Because back then it was the plywood sheds, right? And you had to go sign your name in. It was 20-minute time limit, calling cards, all that shit. And then the internet cafes started coming as I was leaving TQ, my last time. But they send me over. I go over there. I'm just this little shithead guy who's just trying to get by, trying to get home. We get stuck on tower duty. Me and my buddy Jake from State Farm. No, he's from Ohio, the armpit. I still hang out with this guy to this day, man. He's my brother. But him and I go on post, and my brother just sent me the entire Nip Tuck season 1 and 2 on DVD. Right. So I'm like, hell yeah, Jake. We got our 8-hour post all squared away, man. We're going to watch season 2 of Nip Tuck. We're going to do blah, blah, right. So we get dropped off. At the tower. The first thing you do when you go into the tower is you take the camera that's supposed to be facing outward where the enemy is, and you turn it around to make sure nobody's coming down the road. Right. Then you drop your flak and you drop your Kevlar, and boom, you're in this bulletproof air-conditioned tower. You're just scanning, right? You're just overseeing everything.
Damn, we didn't have those in Romani.
It was a 2-week rotation. It was from patrols and security detail shit. So it was a break, hour, right? So I get up the post and take off my flak. I put it in front of the door, take off my Kevlar, put it on the top. I get everything all set up and ready to go. Got our snacks and shit. And
snacks.
All of a sudden, dude, the door, boom! We're like, what the fuck? It was the gunnery sergeant who dropped us off. I'm like, oh shit! There I stood. Flight suit, nothing else, right? Like, oh, you busted me, right? This is the very beginning of our post. He's like, okay, good to go. And he just leaves. Like, what the fuck? So Jake,
I can hear that. I can hear it right now.
Yeah, I know. Jake and I are the whole time for this 8-hour post. We're like, bro, how much trouble are we gonna get in? It was just terrible, man. It was 8 hours of misery, anxiety. We get back to the base or our camp. And it was even worse than we even anticipated. I mean, that first sergeant just hammered us, right? And of course, I didn't give a flying fuck because I was still getting out. I'm like, dude, you only can touch me for the next 30 days, right? But during that time, I got bitched out for not wearing my proper PPE. He asked me what I do during the day, and I'm like, I try not to die. I'm trying to go home. And he's like, oh, and he snaps up out of his chair, gets right in my face, like this close. And I'm just standing there, and he's just chewing me out because you think of he couldn't say my last name, Stinson, right? It was Stinton. Like, you like, if I see this guy to this day, I'm going to knock him the fuck out. And then I'll help him up. This guy was a piece of shit. But, so he tells me that I need to teach the E6s and higher on proper PPE. Okay. So what this motherfucker did, if you think back to when I told you he was by the book, he would send every NCO to corporal's course and sergeant's course. Right. And in the Marine Corps, that's like a punishment thing, right? It's like going back to boot camp. So he sent me through corporal's course. So I knew how to properly teach a military class. And I knew what this motherfucker was going to do.
Wait, they teach that at corporal's course? I never
to
went.
Teach you to properly teach a military class. Yes, they teach there's a format, and there's certain, like, you have to stop after a certain amount of slides and ask questions of the audience to make sure they're engaged, right? Wow. and
never
back.
got
So,
that class.
so I knew how to do this, and I already had a presentation. So I took 2 days to make my presentation, and I never did. Why is my camera not focused? There we go.
There it is.
Well, I get up in front of class, I kick it off, and I knew he was going to do this. He started fucking peppering me with questions, right? So I don't know, First Sergeant, that's a great question. That's out of my pay grade. I would have to refer to Sergeant Gonzalez. Every single one of his questions, but I kept going on, right? And I did this intentionally, okay? So at the very end of the class, I'm like, all right, that's all I have for you today. Does anybody have any questions for me? Great. If not, I have questions for you. First Sergeant DePoyster, and I went right back to that first slide and asked him a question. Asked him just the most basic question, and I fucking punked him. Up. So, I answered the question for him, got to the next two, but he fucking stood up and marched out, before he even got done. All the commanding officers, or all of our officers and E6s and everybody would came up to me like, fucking amazing. That was amazing.
Wow.
Shortly thereafter, I got NJP'd, and it actually went through, and then I went home. So yes, I do have.
They NJP'd you for that, or for
not wearing proper PPE on post.
Oh,
that's what it was. It was
lost a rank and money.
Yeah, it was. I forget. It was like half my pay or something like that for two payments or two payouts or whatever.
You got NJP'd for not wearing your gear. I got NJP'd for getting drunk at Camp Fallujah. Right?
We didn't get caught doing that, but
I got caught, and they fucking made an example out of my ass. Oh yeah, General Neary. Oh dude, he fucking hammered me. Lieutenant Colonel Neary. Sorry, he's a general now, or he retired or whatever. Sorry, continue, Brad.
So I leave Iraq and I get back to Camp Pendleton. In what month do you think I got back to Camp Pendleton?
January.
November.
Oh shit.
And I'm getting out in January. It's a 90-day checkout process, but I'm back in November. So now I have 45 days. What is significant about the month of November in the Marine Corps? We don't fucking work, period. Yeah. I mean, we work like 4 days, okay? So I would borrow a car from somebody, drive my ass across Camp Pendleton to whatever checkbox I would have to go to. They weren't fucking there. That's awesome. I have to come back. It is sweet.
You got an admin, you got SIF, you got admin, you got MVC,
travel,
you got
intelligent, you got all the S's, all the air, all that shit, right? So it all builds up to TAPS class, and TAPS is great because it's an 8-hour death by PowerPoint taught by the VA about these fantastic benefits that we have just earned.
Oh, you're being sarcastic about TAPS. Okay, good to go.
No,
I didn't have a good one.
Yeah, mine sucked ass.
Mine was terrible.
Yeah, okay.
Good. All right, you were being sarcastic.
No, it is true. It is the wrong fucking time to give this. Okay, because it's senioritis all the fuck over again, man. Okay, here's what's on my mind.
Awesome.
Here's what's on my mind when I'm sitting in TAPS class. Okay, are you ready? God, I am not the same person I was 4 years ago. I cannot wait to go home and try to get with this person and this person and this person. That's going to be awesome. What are they talking about? Oh, a guaranteed loan? Oh, my recruiter told me I'm guaranteed a home loan. That's right. Okay. And this girl and this girl and this girl. And this girl. Yeah. So that's what it was. So vets pick up bits and pieces of everything, right? I mean, they taught us how to file VA disability. Hey, guess what, motherfucker? 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 combat tours, honorably discharged Marine who's not going to want to fucking hire me. I'm not filing unemployment. I don't need the VA's money. It was 2008. How naive was I? Dude, I got out of the Marine Corps. I did not get a job until September of that year because of the fucking economy.
Yeah, that was a shit year.
It was.
You got out, wait, you got out January 2008?
Yeah.
Wow, I got out June 2008. Shit. Dude, you said you went to Paris Island, right? Or did you go to San Diego?
San Diego.
That's right. I forgot you're a San Diego Marine. Damn.
Yeah, because back then, Michigan was split into two. So if you're on the west side of Michigan, you went to San Diego, and if you're on the east side, you went to Paris Island.
Go to Paris Island.
Now it's all Paris Island, from my understanding.
Wow. We were in boot camp at the same time. I was in June 2004. You were when?
January. So I was out.
January.
I was at MCT. No,
Oh.
June I was at Fort Sill. Fort Sill. I was at Fort Sill by then.
Oh, for fucking artillery training.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, I get out of the Marine Corps, and like anybody else, man. I mean, it was 1201 on January 20th, 2008. I had my DD-214 and I was fucking untouchable, right? I was unstoppable, right? I'm gonna take on the world. I had that new lease on life, like I'm just graduating high school all over again, right? But I got all these new fucking skills, right? These skills that dude, the Marine Corps, man, they fucking pump me full of this shit. I'm good.
Courage, commitment.
So that night we proceed to do what Marines do. I don't think we slept, and we drank the entire night because my flight was at like 7 a.m. So by the sheer grace of God, I ended up in San Diego airport on time and I made it home. All right. I had a layover somewhere and I call my mom and I'm like, hey, can you pick me up from the airport? Because heaven forbid I even thought about that, or heaven forbid I even thought about where I was going to fucking live. Right. So I'm like, oh yeah, can I stay at your house too? Come on. Right. So I go home and the thing that I was looking forward to the most is there's no motherfucker on duty going to be knocking on the door 30 fucking minutes before I have to wake up. Number one. Number two, I get to wear whatever the fuck I want to wear. Right. If I want, God damn it. If I don't want to wear pants today, I'm not wearing pants. Period. Right. You're not going to make me. Number three, I do not want to be in fear of constant fucking piss tests. Like it just kept going. Like I had a long laundry list of shit that nope, you're never gonna, So I get home, I go out, see a couple people, come back home, and I'm just on cloud nine. It's the highest of highs, right? Thursday comes around, so it's like a couple days later. Thursday comes around. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man, it's Thursday? Hell yeah. Because Thursdays in my town before I left was a big college bar night. I mean, it was a night that you'd go out and you just have a good fucking time. We'd go out the same, like 5 to 10 people. We'd all meet at Vitali's at 10 o'clock. We'd pre-drink down there and then go downtown and go hunting. All right. That's what we did. So I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I'm going to go down to Vitali's. It's almost 10 o'clock. So I show up at Vitali's, walk in, don't see anybody. I'm like, fuck, man, I must be on California time or something. I'm going to get a beer. So I sit down at the bar, and one of my best friends is a bartender there. He gets me a drink, and I drank maybe a third of it. And then I had a fucking, what the hell? It all hit me all at one time. I mean, you want to talk about going from the highest to highs, the lowest to lows. It was right then and there. All right. So I went from this ecstatic feeling of I just did something that less than 10% of the population has ever done. In fact, less than 1% of the population because I'm a combat veteran. Right. So that's fucking cool. But my brothers are now no longer living at home. When I left, all three of us were at my mom and dad's house. My little brother graduated high school. He was just starting when I left. He's now in college, living in the dorms. My other brother is in a career field that he's still in today, and he has a house. So he's a homeowner. And here I am, fucking combat vet Marine, moving back in with mom and dad with no job, no savings, nothing, right?
Me too.
I was further along at the age of 18 than I was at 26 years old. And this is all hitting me right in the middle of the bar. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Time did not stop in my brain. To this day, there's things that were created and made in the years of 04 to 08. Like there's an entire fucking highway in Grand Rapids called M6 that was created from 04 to 07. So it went live in the end of 07. It does not exist in my fucking brain. I cannot navigate that road. Like to get somewhere and use that highway, I can't see it. It's so weird, right? But time did not stop. Everybody's evolving. And where are all my friends, by the way? They are at home. Why are they at home? Because when I left, I was 22. What were you doing at 22? You're in college. You're learning how to adult. You're failing miserably, but you're learning from those mistakes, right? They are now no longer out at the bars on Thursday night. Why? Because they're in their fucking career fields. They're starting families. They're having babies, getting married, buying homes. And I'm no further along than I am at 18 years old. And this is what really pissed me off at that time, right? Like, fuck you. I wasted 4 years of my life for nothing. what did I do? You know, it's hard to get out of that tailspin, right? There's been numerous studies that show 6 months is the bottoming out, right? Like all your shit happens in those 6 months, right? And you'll either re-enlist after 6 months, or you'll get divorced after 6 months, or you'll have life changes after 6 months. You know, so what I think should happen, instead of it being before, like an enlistment bonus, post-enlistment bonus. Dude, I'm fucking serious, man. I am fucking serious.
Okay,
if you want veterans to show up and if you want to take care of them, hold their money. You're not holding it indefinitely. If the VA can get veterans to a spot that they can just hear them, yeah, it's not the VA's responsibility for us to absorb what the fuck they're saying. We need to be able to have the opportunity to hear it, though, right? And how do you attract veterans? You offer them free something, like free beer or free food, which the government cannot do. But what can the government do? They can withhold your pay, right? So if instead of it being a pre-enlistment bonus where you spend all that shit before you even hit the rank of E3 on some bullshit stuff that you're never going to use again, why don't we set our veterans up to succeed in life? Post-service, because this is when we need the most fucking help, right? If you get a post-enlistment bonus of $25,000 is deferred to after, and you're required to come check in at the VA and take surveys and shit to make sure your mental health is okay, do you think that would help the 22?
Yeah, it would.
Fuck yeah,
that's
it would.
That's a very interesting point you just made. I didn't even think about it fully until you finished. I was like, that's a damn good idea. Huh. Yeah.
You know, like that would be a solution to the 22, because my night job, I'm in charge of 2 organizations, 92 for 22 and Vet Sports. 92 for 22 is a nonprofit that founded by a bunch of vets. Actually, all of us are Marines. Back in 2017, we did a walk to raise money for a veteran who needed appliances in his house. So walked the White Pine Trail from Grand Rapids to Cadillac. On that walk, the people who did it said, hey, this makes us feel good. Why don't we do this every day? So they formed a nonprofit on that walk. The distance from Grand Rapids to Cadillac, Michigan on the White Pine Trail is 92 miles. Us Marines are known for many things. Creativity is not one of them. Okay. No. So 92 for 22 was born there. It's a nonprofit organization raising awareness for PTSD and veteran suicide in the community. It's not just veterans. I like to raise awareness with the spouses and the family members and friends in the community, because the community sees it well before the veteran does. You know, I can't tell you how many times my fucking dad has told me, after I've told him, you know, I was going through some shit like 2 weeks ago. He's like, oh, I know, I can see it. Motherfucker, why didn't you say anything? You know, my dad can pick up changes in me way quicker than I can. And any parent can with their kids. So if we can educate the public on those signs, right, and get them connected with us, or we can connect them with a professional to get the help that they need, we absolutely will. But it's not only that, it's also a lot of the things that drive veterans to suicide is, yes, it's all the anxieties of war and all that, but it's the small, mundane fucking life bullshit that pushes you over the edge. So just this past month, me personally, it was like every small little life stressor hit me all at one time, right? To the point where it made just one big, massive ball of bullshit, right? So, thank God I'm where I'm at today, and I'm mentally stable, and I'm the most mentally stable and healthy I've ever been in my entire life. And it's because I put in a lot of work on a mindset shift journey. I mean, are you the victim or are you the aggressor?
That's good.
Okay, because
sadly, mentality that gets
sadly, and I'm gonna call all of us out. Us vets are fucking complainers, man. I mean, we are not aggressors anymore. For some fucking reason, we are not aggressors. We are passive fucking people that just stand there and just accept our fate. Fuck that. Do something about it.
Well said.
Good God, right? Complaining about the problem without offering any tangible solution is just being part of the fucking problem.
Well,
right?
dude, well said. Well said, Brad. That's awesome.
So
Yes, and it's true. I hear it all the time. I hear complaining all the time. I'm like, you know what? Do something about it. If you don't like it, if you don't like the status quo, change it.
I'm broke. Well, have you filed VA disability? No, because I was told that if I get it, I can't work. Well, whatever you're fucking told is wrong. Here's the deal. And you lay it out to them, and they're still like, well, I'm going to get denied.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, I'm giving you an
Mentality.
outlet. I'm giving you an outlet right now to potentially earn $3,450 per month for the rest of your life. Not to mention, if you get the permanently and totally or unemployable, there's a whole world of free shit that opens up.
Yes,
Okay?
there is.
Like, so what I have encountered through my own trials and tribulations, I mean, fucking Christ, from 2008 to now, the VA is night and day difference. And, I give the VA a lot of shit, and we all do, but we need to give them credit where credit is due. They have done a fucking phenomenal job with their apps and their the disability process, the VA Montgomery GI Bill, the Jesus Christ, the home loan stuff. We'll get into that in just a minute, but oh my God, like kudos VA, kudos. Yes, they still have a long way to go. They do, but
but they're making
give them some sort of fucking acknowledgement. The thing that pisses me off, the thing that pisses me off in life,
made a huge change since 2008. When you and I got out, VA is totally different. And for Fleek, shit, he got out. When did you get out? 93?
92.
92? I mean, how was the VA in 92?
I never used them.
See? So, I mean, what I encountered was nobody knew shit for shit, right? When I finally pulled my head out of my ass and decided, you know what, I'll be damned if I just wasted those 4 years. I mean, I didn't do all that shit and embrace the suck for that long to be doing the same things I was doing before. What the fuck is wrong with you? So I finally one day just went down to the community college and spoke to the VA person that was there, right? To see how to do all this stuff. She's like, well, I need your DD-214. I was like, well, duh, that makes total sense. Let me go home and grab it. Because I made 25 copies because I'm a squared away devil dog, right? Well, dumbass me put all 25 copies in the same spot, someplace safe that I still have not been able to find 14 years later. I'm going to find those fuckers. I'm going to find those things when I have to clean out my parents' house after they pass away. But at the time, I was living at my mom and dad's house, which is on 3 Mile and Coit. The VA was on 4 Mile and Coit. No shit, 1 mile from my house. Okay. It took me an additional 35 days to muster up the courage to just go there. Okay. I get there. I'm sitting in my car. I'm going, all right, here we go. Here we go. I was like stuck in my seat. I didn't want to do it because I was in that resentful, I hate you mode. Like, fuck you, like just pissed off at the world. Right. So I finally I went in, and the lady at the front desk says, how can I help you? I said, yes, I need to get a copy of my DD-214. And she's like, oh, what? I'm like, my DD-214. She goes, and she goes away. Right? She comes back like 3 minutes later. She goes, you need to speak to the Dave officer. I was like, roger that, ma'am. Where's he at? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Back then, there were 2 Dave officers in my state, and they travel to all the VAs. So he's at my VA the 3rd Tuesday of every month. Well, it was just 2 days ago. So you're telling me I have to fucking come back? So yeah, I do. So I had to come back the following month. He's in this like makeshift office, which is a janitor's closet. Okay. And when it's my turn, I was in line for 2.5 hours, even though I was there at 8, right? I was in line for 2.5 hours. I get in there, and this is what I see. He's just his back. He doesn't even turn around. Right? He's like, how can I help you? And I was like, I put my DD-214 somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I need a copy of it. And he's like, oh. And it was an awkward silence for like 10 seconds. He's like, oh, are you done? He's still not facing me. I was like, yeah, I'm done. So finally, he spins, but he rips off a piece of paper and hands it to me. Archives.gov. This is where you got to go. Say what the fuck? Like I just wasted 30 plus days of my fucking life to find out this website. Why the fuck doesn't that person know? Why isn't it plastered on the wall? Why is this a closely guarded secret? What the fuck is going on? You know, like this is my introduction to the VA. Okay. Like, so I go to the archive site. Well, it's true. This is exactly what we all go through. Yeah. You know, so I go to the archive site and somehow I managed to not fuck it up enough to where I got my DD-214 in like 90 days. Right. So that was the start of my VA experience. But what I realized at that time is that the VA is, or I realize now that I didn't know at that time, it was their transition into the digital revolution. Right. They're coming online. They're doing that now every single day. Like I go on the e-benefits site and I used to, right? It's transitioning to the va.gov site now, but right. But the e-benefits site was where I had to go for my schooling, my Montgomery GI Bill and things. So I would go there and there were so many dead links, you know, like you click on the link and it just wouldn't go anywhere or whatever. So one day I'm clicking on it, I clicked on it and lo and behold, it was live. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Like, this is sweet. I can get all my service records here. So I made a how-to video on how to do it. It's my most popular YouTube video I have. Is like 35,000 views of a how-to video of me generating my own service record. I send this to every veteran client of mine. I send this to every veteran I come across, right? Because nobody knows about it, right? So that was my first aha moment is, dude, I'm the fucking olive branch, man. Right? Like I'm going to be the olive branch guy. There's nothing better for me than helping another veteran through some shit that I've been through. Right? Because I see the signs. I know what it's like on the other side, but I know that one catalyst that needs to happen. And the one catalyst for every fucking veteran that needs to happen is they need to get out of their own goddamn way and actually go hang out with other veterans. Once you get around your people, holy fucking Christ, your world changes.
Yep.
Now you're not convincing motherfuckers that you're a good person or you're a good dude or you just need to be left the fuck alone or whatever else. I mean, shit, dude. Andrew, we've met each other maybe 2 times in person.
In person, yeah. Very short.
Dude, and I can almost guarantee you that I have a place on your house, on your couch. Right? Like that's how much trust we have with each other.
You have a guest room with your
exactly
name on it,
right?
In my house, like 2 doors down.
You know, you're hitting the point that I'm getting at, right? For me, what really helped me, I struggled from 2008 till 2017. So like 9 years. Okay. What helped me, this is no shit, man. This is how everything turned for me. I was a regional manager at Planet Fitness. I created this new hire training program. I had this employee tier thing. I mean, I had a whole bunch of good shit going on. And it was adopted by Planet Fitness corporate and deployed across all the franchises, which that's a fucking cool thing. Right. But I wasn't enjoying myself. There was no joy in what I did. The joy that I have is mentoring and helping people through the shit. Right. So the opportunity to become a loan officer arose when I personally was going through a refinance. Me and my wife, we hit our 5-year goals and we have to reestablish 5-year goals. Okay. So when we reestablish our 5-year goals, we're like, okay, we want to build a new house. But since we use the VA loan on this one, can we use it again for another one? Can we have multiple? Can we use it to build? I have so many fucking questions. So we reach out to, I call him Johnny Loan Officer. Johnny Loan Officer is that fucking swindler who is wearing a suit and tie and has the blue piece over his ear, you know, straight up boiler room, you know, right? So Johnny Loan Officer tells me, oh yeah, you must refinance out of the VA right now, you know, because it's going to take them about 3 to 5 years to restore your entitlement on the property. And I'm like, okay, at the time, it made perfect fucking sense because what was going on with the VA, they had a 35-year backlog of unfiled claims that they were trying to work through, and they're in a lot of shit for it. So I'm like, oh, that makes total fucking sense. That makes total sense. All right, cool. So I refinance out of the VA. into a conventional loan. And 2 weeks later, I found out the truth. Like, there was no fucking reason to do that. Because even though I did refinance out of the VA loan, my name is still on title. Therefore, my entitlement is tied to the property until I sell the house. Or I can use a one-time and one-time only restoration of entitlement to buy a new house. That's what I fucking had to do. This cocklicker didn't take the extra 5 minutes to read the goddamn guidelines and put me into what's called the interest rate refinance reduction loan, or IRRL. It's a streamlined refinance process that does not include an appraisal, credit underwriting, nothing. I mean, you have to be current on your mortgage and have a fucking pulse, and you can close this thing in 24 hours. Okay? What? This is what he should have done. But instead, because he doesn't know VA, he wants to push me into his wheelhouse, because in the industry of lending, it's very egotistical. Therefore, if you're asked a question and you do not know the answer to that question, the belief is, if I show any sign of weakness, they're going with somebody else. Therefore, I'm going to push them into my wheelhouse, which is conventional. Right? This is where, I mean, there's a whole fucking list of things that we could talk about here. But this is what led me to becoming a loan officer, is when I understood that this shit is happening. I consider myself to be a pretty intelligent human being. If it's happening to me, how many other fucking veterans is it happening to? Right? So that day I'm like, you know what? If not me, who? If not me, who? I'm going to fucking do it. By God, I'm going to teach myself how to be a loan officer, because there is a need.
That's when you became the mortgage Marine.
Well, I became a loan officer. I didn't become the mortgage Marine yet. I had a lot of errors and failures first, but I knew coming out of the gate that I wanted to specialize in VA, because this is how I could help. This is how I can give back. A couple months prior, I found out that a Marine that I served with took his own life. And it kind of hit me like, dude, what the fuck, man? We both did the same deployments and saw the same shit. I transitioned out. I'm doing okay. Why did he take that route? And then I got pissed off that he didn't fucking call me. Right? Like, I'm just a phone call. And then I'm like, no, bro, no. If he's suicidal, he's not thinking right anyhow. This is on you, man. You need to do more. You need to try to get, and then, like, it's that cycle, right? Like, there's never enough that I can do. I'm like, well, what I do, right, is I talk about it. I share it, right? I get it out. I don't hold anything back. I mean, I do hold things back when I feel like I need to, but for the most part, I just talk about it, right? Because why the fuck not? Like, I'm not going to hold anything back. My cousin, on the other hand, my cousin is a year older than me. He joined the Army a year before I did, and he served with the 82nd Airborne. His contract was for 3 years, and he was deployed for 3.5. So this motherfucker has seen nothing but combat for 3.5 years. And to this day, he still suffers big time from PTSD and just all those issues that come with it. He can't work. He doesn't have relationships with his family, and just it's bad. I know the one thing that he needs is to just get out to one of the fucking events that I do. And I've gotten him almost there, but he's not there yet. But we were at a reunion a couple years after we got out, and my cousin and I were sitting there just bullshitting, probably talking about whose branch is better, whatever crap, right? He gets up to go get a beer, and his brother Mike comes over, and he's like, man, I got to tell you something. He's like, I haven't seen Brian smile, laugh, talk, be like this since he got out of the Army. You need to hang out with him more. And then it hit me, man. It fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. Post-service is not branch. It doesn't matter what branch you served, right? We all have the same respect for each other because we were willing to die for this country, right? The fact that, you served it from 96 to 2000 and you saw nothing but Liberty ports is not a reason for you to feel inferior to me because I did 2 combat tours. It wasn't your fucking fault the world knew their role at that time, and they were doing nothing, right? You cannot live your life with that guilt, right? Like, it's not your fault. You were still willing to do it. you just didn't have the opportunity to do it. You know, like if you can. So I try to say that as much as I can to people, try to figure out when they served. Reservists who are medically discharged before they reach their 6 years without a deployment. Those guys feel like twats, big time.
He said twat.
Yeah, I mean, like
I think that's the first time anybody said twat on this station. By the way,
so when I
Good
became
job,
a loan
Brad.
officer, I knew right away I wanted to specialize in VA, but I live in the state of Michigan. How many active duty bases are in the state of Michigan? Zero. All right.
Zero.
To answer your question, is zero.
Freeze, recruit, freeze.
Yeah. But what, dude? Okay, so what does the V in VA stand for? It's veteran. What is a veteran? Veteran is somebody who enlisted in the armed forces, served their time, and were released and back home. That is a veteran. Okay. 87% of VA usage is used by veterans. 13% by active duty. So why the fuck does it matter? There's an active duty base, right? Changing the mindset of all these people, like the mindset that everybody has, like these agents and these lenders, they forget that there's an emotional fucking transaction going on here with a veteran and their family. And a veteran and their family is the most protected element of the armed forces, man. Like, fuck, I'm not going to let you take it. I'm not going to let you screw somebody over. You fucking schmucks, right? Like, it pisses me off to no end. But we also have in our area National Guard and reservists. And they're the forgotten element, just like the first responders, right? You have all these National Guard members who have been activated and sent in COVID relief and riot control and all this shit that we don't have to do. Plus, not to mention, the reservists during my time stepped up big time and slowed down the operation or the deployment tempo. So thank you for that, right? But they're also doing the shit that we don't want to do, right? Like the voluntold working parties of go man a COVID tent.
Fill a sandbag.
Right. So
Fill a HESCO barrier. Go have fun.
Yeah. We're gonna build you a sandbag machine. How about that? Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you for building us a sandbag machine that we have to fill with our fucking shovels. Oh God, I don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, that real life story that actually happened. Al-Assad, Iraq, 05. You get there.
I remember going there once. Yep.
Artillery. Okay. So the Marine Corps is the bastard child of the armed forces. Okay. Artillery is the bastard child of the Marine Corps because of the collateral damage. So from a commanding officer standpoint, they see 200 Marines in an artillery battery that are just extra bodies. And our B.L.T. commander on our 13th M.E.U. fucking hated us. He hated us. Like, he sent us all over the damn place. I mean, we were sprinkled. Our headquarter element was in Al-Assad, but we were in Hit. We were at the border of Syria and Iraq. We were in Aruba, which when we first were told it was Aruba. So the Beach Boys song was stuck in our fucking heads for 2 weeks. That was fun, you know? So we did everything under the sun in Iraq because we were treated like stepchildren. But now, okay, so back to my cousin. When I realized that, I was like, fucking Christ, man, I got to do something. I just have to do something. Something's better than nothing, right? I got to just get involved. Well, my schedule didn't allow it at the time. And I just didn't know what to do, how to do, whatever. Then the opportunity to become a loan officer arose. And I was like, poof, this is fucking it, man. Becoming a homeowner changed my life. 100% changed my life. If you would have met me the day before we closed on the house and you would have saw what I did when the very first thing after I bought the house, you'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? Very first thing I did is I put a Marine Corps flag on the house. It became incredibly proud of what I did. I wasn't ashamed. I wasn't embarrassed. You know, it filled me with pride and confidence to allow me to step outside of my comfort zone and get into Planet Fitness. And Planet Fitness, even though it was a bullshit job, dude, it was exactly what I needed at that point in time in my life. It allowed me to explore whatever the Marine Corps taught me. It allowed me to fail. And that's the key part. As a veteran, you cannot be afraid to fucking fail. You will fail. And when you fail, it's okay. Pick yourself up by the fucking bootstraps and take another step.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well said.
The power in failure is what makes you succeed. What you are taught by life in failure allows you to succeed. It allows you to keep going forward. Okay. So failure is a good fucking thing. And I know a lot of us are afraid of failure. We're afraid to show that. We're afraid to be vulnerable around people. It's okay. The world is not that bad of a place. We have seen fucking worse. Give me a break. I mean, Linda and her fucking flowers on the corner are far less. She is of no threat to you, but you're making her out to be a fucking threat. Right? Like, she is literally, this girl's 5'2" with flowers in her hand. These things right here have killed people. Why are you letting that bitch run your life? Fuck that.
Man, that is that's powerful right there.
Dude, it's not gonna, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to be afraid to fail. And that's what I figured out at Planet Fitness, because the franchise owners had day jobs. Okay. So from 9 till about 6:30, I could fuck up royally, but I had plenty of time to wiggle my way out of it. Right. And that's when you're wiggling your way out of it. That's where you learn everything. So just by freaking messing up, I became really proficient and competent at what I did, to the point where we opened 3 gyms in 3 years and I had 200 employees underneath me. Right. But it still didn't bring me pleasure because I wasn't doing the thing that I wanted to do. And when I figured that out, when I was a loan officer, I was like, okay, how can we make veterans' life better? How can I make somebody's life better? Think about what I went through. Think about the bullshit that I went through when I was trying to do schooling and I was trying to buy a home. And so I've created all sorts of things to better veterans' lives. Or so I thought, right? Well, me just being, I'm just a fucking knuckle dragging Marine, man. I just have ideas. I don't know if they're good or not. Right. So I just throw them out there. And what I didn't know then is what I know now, is that in my industry, it takes 30 days or more to see the results. So I was all over the goddamn place the first year, right? A lot of failures, which is great. I learned from it. And then I found my people, which is Alex. Alex is one of my people.
Yep.
Right. Part of a military mortgage boot camp, a group of like-minded individuals doing exactly what I was trying to do. And I was told that I was being an idiot about this. Are you fucking insane? You're going to specialize in VA? Bro, we're in the state of Michigan, man. There are no active duty bases here. You're just pigeonholing yourself. What the fuck? I don't want to do it. Like, so many haters and doubters. Which, Andrew, if you know me, I love haters and doubters, right? Because these motherfuckers I have to prove wrong. These are the people that, yep. I mean, these are the people that I pull on, right? So I became a loan officer, start going down this path. Well, fuck, man. If a veteran reaches out and I can't help them, I'm not going to say thank you for your service. Have a good day. Fuck that, man. If a veteran reaches out to you, you do everything in your fucking power to help them, because that is the biggest step ever. If they're reaching out for help, that is massively huge, right? So I better have a bullpen of people that I can, connect them with. So I went down to the veterans office.
God,
and I just pulled a whole bunch of pamphlets, right? And it was a Friday morning. I just started fucking dialing, like, hey, what are you guys all about? If they couldn't articulate their reason or their why or their mission to me within the first reasonable 5 minutes, thank you, and I'll just trash it, right? So I built out a roster. There's a, who would have thought that one of the most unintentional relationships I ever built was with Community Rebuilders. It's a nonprofit in our area that offers free housing to veterans and their family in need for up to 12 months. Fucking Christ. Now I can help them. Absolutely. Right. Then you start building out credit repair. You make partnerships with VSOs and different nonprofit organizations, because the thing that pisses me off the most, and this is where the VFW and the American Legion needs to step up, is they need to be the conduit to all these organizations, right? Because there's nothing right now that's uniting all these organizations and all these efforts. The efforts are there. I mean, people are pounding the fucking streets nonstop across the country, screaming that something needs to be done. But there's no parent organization that says, I got you, my people, and they scoop you up. But Fast forward to now, I'm now the mortgage Marine. I do 100% VA. I've been the top VA producing loan officer in my state of Michigan since 2019. So 2019, 2020, 2021, 22. Top 20 nationally. I founded the Veteran Lending Council, which is a online training platform for loan officers and real estate agents, teaching them about the VA home loan program. I educate real estate agents on the VA home loan program. So I host at least 3 classes a month teaching agents on the VA program. Also teach loan officers across the country about the VA loan program and how to advocate and get involved and how to give back. And at night, I run 2 nonprofit organizations, 92 for 22 and Vet Sports. Vet Sports is an organization. It's a nationwide one that their whole mission is aimed at improving the physical, mental, and emotional health of veterans through sports. Now, this organization is fucking phenomenal. Don't ask me how I got involved because I don't know. Back in like 2018, I found it online. I started, sending messages like, how do I get involved? How do I get involved? Because I knew I wanted to give back somehow. I just didn't know how. Okay. So I was trying to get a hold of Vet Sports, and then my recruiter of all freaking people, my recruiter pops up on Facebook, and I'm like, bro, there is no fucking way you're still in Grand Rapids after however many years in the Marine Corps. There's just no way. Well, come to find out, this guy was really good at a recruiter, so they kept him, and they kept him in the state. They eventually moved him up to the sergeant major of freaking recruiting
duty,
whatever. I don't know what his title was. So he ended up getting out in August of 2018, and his wife is from Grand Rapids, so they bought a house here, and he just passed a real estate exam, and I'm like, no freaking way. So we connected again, and he tells me about an organization, 92 for 22, and I'm like, dude, they're doing a 22K awareness walk and on September 22nd. Fucking count me in, man. Can you connect me with these guys? Because I'm an idiot. There's a couple things that I'm good at, and that's marketing and advertising. So I'll see if I can get people out. So that's I connected me with them, 92 for 22. The morning of that 22K walk, I realized it was my first veteran event that I've been to since post-service. And I kept talking myself out of going. I woke up early. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. Dude, it's actually 28. So 10 years. It was September of 2018. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why am I not? Why am I? Why? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. So my mom was there. My dad was there. I had a couple other people I was meeting. So I'm like, I can't bitch out. I have to do this. So just suck it up, Buttercup. Here we go. So I get out of my vehicle. I start walking over to the registration table, and I'm like, God, and I kept stopping. I felt like I was getting pulled back to my vehicle. This guy comes over to me. He's wearing a Marine boonie, a red t-shirt. He's wearing a Alice pack, right? And he's wearing American flag silkies with combat boots and green socks, right? He looks ridiculous. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So he comes up to me. He goes, hey, man, are you walking in front of me or behind me? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue what's going on. He goes, all right, well, I just want to let you know, if you walk behind me, you get to see this. And he bends over, and I can see right up Main Street. And I'm like, dude, I'm with my fucking people, dude. I feel, instant calm, like seeing some dude fucking sack, made me chill out. Like, why? Because you're with your people, and it brought me to this calm.
Because Marines like sacks.
We do. We like silkies. We like to see sacks. It's fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Brad,
that's one of the things we are good at.
Brad, you went on a hike in 2018, right?
Yep. 22K.
92 for 22. Well, that's funny, man, because in 2018, that's when I went to Irreverent Warriors, and I did my first hike in Savannah. And that was my first, silkies. I saw the American flag silkies. I saw sacks. I saw taints. I saw it all. I was like, and that changed my view too. And sorry, I divulged a little bit, but
no, it's fine. You're proof of concept, man. You're echoing exactly what I'm saying. It's getting out into the community. We cannot recluse ourselves, man. Like when we isolate, only bad things happen.
Bad news bears.
Bad things happen. I don't know what I was talking about, but Vet Sports, it's a national organization.
Vet Sports.
The whole thing, Vet Sports will pay for the registration of any team. So me being the chapter leader of West Michigan, we have 2 men's softball teams. They pay for the registration and ump fees. We did a co-ed volleyball tournament last year. We did a couple softball tournaments, but one of the big things that we did is we honor a fallen teammate of ours. An Army airborne veteran passed away Christmas morning, 2021. It took all of us by total surprise. I mean, this guy had this autoimmune disease that he had to get chemo every year. And when he got chemo, he would still show up and play softball. It didn't make him any better. He was a god awful softball player, but
at least he was out there.
He was just a great personality. I mean, this guy he was 5'6", probably 210 pounds. He was older than us, but his glory days are well behind him. Every time he would come up to bat, and this is no joke, June and July, he went 0 for both months. He did not get one fucking hit. Every time he came up, he would either hit into an inning-ending double play or pop it up to the pitcher for the 3rd out. But every single time he came up to bat, he had the confidence of a fucking 21-year-old who just hit a monster grand slam. I'm going to hit lasers. I'm going to hit a laser. And he'll hit the ball, and it'll just be a weak little dribbler. And he's like, it's a fucking laser. And he's slow as shit running down. So, I mean, the whole optics of it was awesome. And this guy just brought a whole new element and a whole different comedic relief that is sorely missed today still. But we honored him in the year 2022. I made a patch, which I'm trying to see if I have one around here. I made a patch with his name because he was 82nd Airborne. So it's just a parachute badge with his name underneath it. We put it on our jersey. I retired his name and number. So every year I order a 13 Van Wyck jersey. We hang it on our fence, and I'll wear it every once in a while, just, for shits and grins. We put it on our hats. So there's a patch, a Van Wyck patch. Last year I sold whoever wanted to purchase them Van Wyck 13 jerseys. And we donated all the money to his daughters and grandkids. So all in all, I raised a total of almost 13 grand.
Nice.
And donated to them. But we're starting a memorial softball tournament in his honor this year. So we'll donate some of the proceeds as well. But I use all of my platforms interchangeably. Right. That's the big thing. You cannot run 5 organizations and be successful if you isolate all 5 of them.
Yep.
Right. They all tie together. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
VA home loan. It's a benefit. It's an earned benefit. A VSO is somebody you need to talk to. A VSO is somebody that I would connect you with if you're talking about, disability stuff, because
exactly.
I'm not disability, right? That's not fucking me. So having a network of people that I can connect people with and being able to use all my platforms between Vet Sports, 92 for 22, Veteran Lending Council, which is Veteran Mortgage Advisor, which we're launching the Veteran Housing Advisor, which is the agent facing side at the end of this year. Being the Mortgage Marine and whatever the fuck else I just started as a mentor as part of started as a mentor through the Kent County Veterans Treatment Court, which I don't know if they have that down there, but
I'm a graduate of Veterans Treatment Court.
Veterans Treatment Court's a fantastic program, man.
Saved my life.
Jesus, it had to change your life, right?
18 months. It was piss tests. It was accountability. It was MRT. It was CBT, AA. It saved my life. I'm actually going to be 5 years sober in July, and I have Veterans Treatment Court to thank because it gave me my life back.
Hey, Chesty says congratulations, buddy. He's proud of you.
Yeah, and he also calls me a quitter because Chesty would be like, "Cheers, mate." But dude, Brad, I was just checking out this 92 for 22, and it's an amazing site. You got David Krajewski, U.S. Army. And you've got Ken Murillo. I think I'm Facebook friends with him.
He's my recruiter. Him and I are good friends.
When is this? When do you do the 92 for 22? Like, when do you do the actual ruck for
so every
people
year
like,
we do walk. Every year we do walk 92 miles. This year it's going to be in August. We're going to change. I'm going to change the format of it this year. It started off by going point A to point B, 92 miles. That sucks. I mean, you have to find lodging, you have to find food. There's a whole bunch of shit that goes into that. So at the end of the day, you really don't make that much money because you're paying all this shit, right? So then I was like, dude, in the Marine Corps, we just went out in backs, right? 5 miles out, 5 miles back. So why don't we find 4 freaking veteran-owned businesses in Grand Rapids, start and stop there, so we have a launch party and we have a return party or after party, whatever. Promote their business, blah, blah, blah. That's what we were doing. At the end of last year, I realized something. Next year, I'm going to be a year older. Next year, I'm going to be a little bit more out of shape. And next year, I'm going to want to fucking murder people again. So we got to figure out how the fuck we can pass the torch to somebody else to walk the 92 miles, right? So I started racking my brain, and I'm like, dude, it's the fucking community event, man. Make it it's a community, right? Identify a high school, identify a freaking college, and see if you can have an event in their main parking lot, but use their track, use their facilities, use the grounds, right? And include the school. So have the school make art pieces to decorate, the path. Use the school's freaking whatever to do whatever, include them, involve them, have their varsity football team, raising, for every lap that we push a Jeep Wrangler around, you're going to give us $5, or some shit. I don't know, like just different ideas. So this year we're changing up the format, which in 30 minutes we have a board meeting on this. So I'm going to have to go here pretty soon, but it's going to be August 5th. It's going to be at my alma mater, Northview High School, which I don't see why we can't do this virtually. But I don't know. I don't know what I don't know yet. So I'm planning this whole thing. I've never planned a walkathon type event. So
Brad, you just said it. I don't know what I don't know. That's right out of Save a Warrior, man. I fucking love it. Jay Clark, the CEO of Save a Warrior, would be so happy that you just said that, because that's true. We don't know what we don't know. Correct. We don't know what that person is feeling. We don't know what that person is going through. I'm sorry, you just made me very, very like. Hey, I have a chubby
no,
right now.
It's true, because it's on for every interaction I have with whoever else. I need to find the fucking intent of it. How do you find the intent? It's not by you just sitting there fucking not saying anything or being defensive. That's also not that's not going to get you the intent. The intent is standing there like a fucking grown-up and asking grown-up questions.
Adulting.
Right?
It's called
adulting is hard. Adulting is hard. And let's call a spade a spade. Most fucking veterans refuse to be an adult. That's why they're victims.
It's true.
Yep. True.
If
Brett,
are aggressors. So
how often you make it to Detroit?
That's where my headquarters is at Ross Mortgage. So I'm there multiple, like 3-4 times a month.
So if I needed I'm getting a echo. If I needed a mentor to take someone to a Detroit Lions game, would you be in?
Absolutely.
That'd be him.
Hell yeah.
Tigers, Lions. I mean, you name it. I mean, geez. I mean, we try to do so with my endeavors through nonprofit work, and even as a loan officer now, I get connected with a lot of organizations that want to help veterans do cool shit. Like there's a charter boat out in Benton Harbor that will take a fully chartered boat out with vets for 5 hours and help them fish. It's not deep sea fishing; it's deep lake fishing. But out on Lake Michigan, it looks like the freaking ocean. It looks like the ocean.
Wait, is it Primal Outfitters LLC?
No.
We need to hook you up. Dude, we got a guy we interviewed. He's up in Michigan and he runs charters. And he's a Marine too. His name is Gunny.
Gunny.
Yeah. Gunne.
Gunnison.
Yeah, he was
His last
2'7".
Yeah,
name.
shoot me his info, man. I'd love to connect with them. But
Do
I
it
mean,
right now.
that's the power in our network, man. You know, like
We know if we don't know that person, we know someone that knows that person.
Right, exactly.
and if we cannot vouch for that person, we're not going to connect you with them.
Exactly.
You know, or we'll give you that disclaimer. Like I connect people with people all the time, right? I mean, I'm licensed in 7 states, but when I put stuff on social media, it hits the fucking world, right? I would love to help every veteran I come across, right? But it's physically impossible, right? So I have to have a network of people that I know and trust to send these vets to. That's what I have. I mean, fuck, if I have anybody who needs a VA home loan in the state of Washington, do you think I'm going to refer them inside of my company where I get 25 basis points or a small commission payout? Or do you think I'm going to send them to a loan officer that I know, that I fucking trained, that have gone through my training program that I put out on the internet? They have paid to take it and they've passed it. I
would say the latter.
Correct, because it's not about a dollar figure, man. It's about saving veterans. I mean, everything that I fucking do. Everything.
How do you become a loan officer?
Take a lot of tests, Series 7, Series 6.
Okay, so first off, you have to know the right people that are hiring, right? But second, it's once you get hired in, you have to study for the NMLS test. The NMLS test is a test that doesn't test your knowledge. It tests how well you can read, right? It's one of these tests that are designed for you to fail. The failure rate first time you take it is absurd. I passed it. I passed it the first time. But here's an example of the question. It's, when does PMI fall off your loan? Is it 80%? Is it 20% equity? Is it 79% or is it 78%? They're all right. They're all fucking right. But it asks, when does it fall off? 78% is when it falls off. It can come off at 80, 20, whatever, right? Why are you writing that down? It doesn't matter to you. VA does not have PMI.
Fine. Just wrote that down.
Okay. All right. So the correct answer is 78 because that's when it automatically will fall off. 78. That's the correct answer. But they're all right. So it's 115 questions of that shit, that mind fuckery. So it's
sounds like the ASVAB all over again.
Okay, so when I went into the room, it looked like I was going into prison, man. I had to get fingerprinted. I had like all this shit. And then you stand outside and they wand you and they make you pull up your shirt and like all this stuff. I'm like, where am I going? Am I going to take a test or am I going to fucking get ass raped in prison? What is going on here?
So it is Detroit.
You're already kind of worked up, and then you sit down and you're like, oh my God, but I passed it. No problem. That's the start of it. You have to get licensed. Once you're licensed, then the fun begins. That's where you really start putting your name out there and marketing and advertising. I mean, it's not easy. And what the most ignorant, arrogant statement that I've ever heard in my life is, son, I've been doing this for 20 fucking years. It's like, all right. The reason why they say that is because in my industry as a loan officer, in order to build up the experience in all the loan programs to be proficient, it usually takes about 12 to 15 years. So yeah, I can understand the old boys club of saying, oh, I've been doing this for 35 years. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I've been doing this for 5, and I will put my VA numbers from this year alone against your career VA numbers, and I can guarantee you I've originated more.
Yep.
That's not a cocky statement. That's a confident statement. I have earned a right to be in this fucking room. Respect me. Right? Because going up against these 15, 20-year loan officers and trying to show them that they're incorrect is not received very well. Right? Like, oh, who the fuck are you, son? Don't fucking son me. Like, you want to see a son? I'll show you a son. All right. But from here, it's just now it's just changing the perception, changing policies. Now, I mean, I have been able to impact the housing market here by taking out 2 discriminatory phrases in our purchase agreements. Back in 2018, on page 2, it said, in the event of VA financing, seller will pay for the pest and termite inspection. Page 4, paragraph 21, closing, seller will pay for title insurance closing fee. Both considered a VA non-allowable fee. Well, it's somebody's interpretation of the guidelines, and it's only halfway right. And it all depends on the lender. If the lender's charging a certain amount, then yes, the veteran can no longer pay for it. But the fact that you put seller in there is 100% fucking bullshit, because nowhere in the guidelines does it state seller. It just says somebody other than the veteran. So you fucking fucks are making VA offers look inferior, like a seller is going to net less by accepting a VA offer because of these 2 bullshit phrases in the purchase agreement that has nothing to do with real estate agents. It's all the fucking lender.
Damn. Good job, Brad.
It took 5 years, but they finally listened.
Well, hey, dude, you're tenacious. I mean, you're a sergeant. You're a Marine sergeant. You're tenacious as fuck.
Well, I mean,
I've known you for a long time, and I've only met you, God, 2 times. You're right. And you are tenacious as fuck, and you are determined, and you are doing good things for veterans. And I'm proud to be your friend. I'm proud to know that we share the same circle of friends. You, me, and Fleek, and Alex, and I mean, God, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I want to do this 92 for 22.
Let's do it, man.
Dude, I just saw on the IW website, they're in Detroit on Saturday.
No shit.
No shit. And I'm like, shit, I can't get up there. I'm sorry, I can't do it. But this
Dude,
92 for 22 sounds awesome.
That would be awesome. So we actually are we were nominated and identified as the main beneficiary of this big it's called Pride and Shine. It's not a gay rights thing. It is Pride and Shine is it's an 18-wheel truck show. It's like Pride and Shine, meaning they shine their trucks and they show it off, right? So they do this big truck show. They've been doing it for 5 years, and every year they've raised over $100,000 for the organization. And we're like, are you fucking kidding me? We just got to show up. So Friday and Saturday is the event. So even if you were coming up, I don't know if I'd be able to go, but I would try to make it out there. But that's coming up. We have Vet Sports has freaking league play Monday and Thursday nights. And we have tournaments coming up, looking to add flag football, looking to add cornhole, a whole bunch of other shit too, but I just don't have the bandwidth. So if you're in the West Michigan area, hit me up and you want to, you want to run it.
Fleek and
If you're not, you go ahead.
Sorry, Fleek and I, we'll probably be up there in June, in 2 weeks. Is that right?
I don't.
Are we going up with Gunny, or is that like in July?
I don't remember. I have to look.
Okay. Yeah,
let me know.
We plan on getting up to Michigan. Like
driving. Yeah, let me know, man.
Fleek's gonna drive his damn Cadillac up there because it's an awesome Cadillac. It's brand spanking new, and it moves like a fucking dream.
If a veteran is listening to this and wants to get involved with Vet Sports, either become a chapter leader or just more information, hit me up. I mean, they're looking to expand. And what?
Fleek, Vet Sports. He's got another podcast called The Nosebleed Report. You would be amazing on that, I think, too. I'm just saying.
Dude, let me know, man. I'm more than happy. Spreading the word, spreading the mission is what it's all about, man. Like just getting it out there. But with Vet Sports, there's a lot of organizations that are sponsoring us this year, and a lot of celebrities are going to start like becoming involved. Like Jared Allen, for example, defensive lineman for the Vikings and whoever else he played for. He was one of the keynotes at the gala this weekend. So was Dominique Dawes, Team USA gymnast, the gold medalist.
But
the award gala was just this past weekend. I was nominated for coordinator of the year. I was nominated for coordinator of the year, and I won.
And you won. Yeah, you look good with that medal, that trophy. Sorry.
That over the weekend, I was feeling really guilty because I do so much for like I do have 5 organizations. I spread myself over 5 organizations. And the one organization that gets treated like the stepchild I never wanted is Vet Sports, because it's so damn easy. I only call on it when I need money, AKA sponsor money. Right. So I was feeling really guilty, but then I started thinking about it. No. I use all my fucking platforms interchangeably. So when I'm teaching a VA class to real estate agents for continuing education credits, I make them pay me money. Of all those proceeds, I donate it to Vet Sports, and we pay for equipment, we pay for jerseys, we pay for entry fees, or I give it to 92 for 22. Right. So I'm doing I'm the face of these organizations everywhere I go. Right. So I am doing things even though I don't think I am. Right. And I always have to tell myself that, because like you said, I take on all this shit and I'm a go-getter. I'll just start getting after it.
Dude, I go through the same shit. I have those same thoughts, and it's, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
Yeah. And so being able to identify these things and start to slow down a little bit, like over this weekend, I allowed myself the grace to spend all of Friday by myself. I bought a 240-minute pass on a Lime bike, and I just freaking took off. And I went through all the monuments out in DC by myself at night, and it was so fun. I had an entire face smile. Like, that's how happy I was at the end of the tour. An entire face smile. Like, I don't smile, but I had to look like a fool on my bike. Going through DC.
You deserve it, man. You deserve that happiness.
We have to, because we have been conditioned. We have been conditioned to do mission first and mission only, right? Yep. Mission. So always forward, never backwards, right? As Marines, stack 4 up outside the room. We have to take the fucking room. First guy gets shot and killed. You still have to take the fucking room. I'll mourn you later. The problem is we don't mourn. We don't stop. Right? You need to stop. You need to resupply. You need to re-equip, recalibrate, re-energize, and then get the fuck after it again. Right? You have to stop and smell the roses. And that's what I did this weekend. It was the greatest thing I could have done.
Hey, Brad, you said you had a board meeting, right? In about a minute?
No, 15, but I should probably go.
Okay.
Well, before you go, in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have an 18-year-old kid getting ready to join the military. What is your advice for him? And then 4 years later, when he gets out, what's your advice for him getting out?
My advice for entering the military: what is the end goal? What is your intent? What is the long-term mission here? Are you joining for school? Are you joining for life skills? What is the purpose for you joining? And then help guide them into the right career field, because fucking Christ, man, artillery, what sort of need for artillery is there in civilian world? If I want to move to the mountains, avalanche control, and that's fucking it. So what sort of tangible skills do I have? Right. And it took me a while to really dig in, pull out the mental stuff. 10 years, maybe even longer. I'm still fucked up. I'm healing. I'm not healed. Right. I still have moments where I'm like, God damn it. Like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, this fucking bullshit, all these life stretches, like I just fuck everything, it's easy to get there, but you have to recenter yourself. And I have all these tools now that bring me back, so knowing what the end goal is how we can help guide them. 4 years later, what did you learn? Because again, that's another thing that I've learned so much fucking power in is processing. Somebody once asked me, would you treat a VIP client the way you treat yourself? Like skipping my meetings. Yeah, I'll do that later. I'll push that off till later. Making myself the back burner item. Would I ever do that to a VIP client? No. So why the fuck do you tolerate it to yourself? Right? So now I have dedicated me time of processing. I know it sounds really stupid, but you have to do this, man, because your brain is taking in 2 million bits of data every second of every day. Your brain can only process 126 of them. 126 of 2 million. So you have all this data in your brain that hasn't converted to long-term storage. You're just taking up spots, bouncing shit around, not letting new stuff in. If you process this and you convert this to long-term storage or you data dump it, either way, it's processed. I wake up every fucking morning now with a whole new lease of life. it's freaking amazing. Like I wake up, I feel like I actually slept. You know, like who would have thought? Like, so I wake up, I feel energized. Number one. Number two, I'm ready to get the fuck after it because I don't have all this other shit pinging around in my brain. You know, so treat yourself like a VIP client, man. Make time for yourself and process your shit.
Yes,
So much
yes.
freaking power in that.
God bless. That's amazing. That's amazing advice. That's a good quote right there, Flake. For your cookbook.
It is.
But Brad, we love you, man. I
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for jumping on.
Yeah, we love you, man. And you're always welcome in Tennessee with Fleek or with me or Semper Sliders or Alex Jimenez.
And I'll probably
get
get with you during the football season. I'll probably set you up with the vet to go mentor at a game.
Let's do it, man. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to be involved, help spread the mission, spread the word. Anytime you guys need a guest, you got a friend in me, man. Just hit me up.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
All right, Semper Fi, guys.
Semper
Take
Fi,
care,
brother.
fellas.
Later.
Hurrah.